crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma see for decoration. You mistaken with love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work. To me, I be work. To me, I be work. See me do me dirt. So me for that work. When you walk a line. In the cafe, trying me, I deserve. Nothing to be lurking.
Yeah.
You make a like, now you not like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody touched me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma see for decoration. You mistaken with love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work. To me, I be work.
Hey y'all, welcome. Y'all is up in here. You're up in here. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Y'all, listen. I had to pray before I did. I should pray anyway every time before I do this. Before I come on YouTube, but this right here was some special praying I had to do. So, Da'Naia Jaxn was on the Dear Wifey podcast with Latiris Whitfield, who is I'll say in quotes, reformed cheater. So she got up on his podcast to give her take on what happened between her and her husband, that cheater, pumpkin eater, Derek Jaxn. So it was two parts, and she told her side, and I was trying to listen and be fair, but like from what I know about it, and this is my opinion, you see the thoughts, views, topics, and opinions expressed in this video are those of me, Mokamima Media, and my guests are for entertainment purposes only. All commentary is alleged. Y'all, the only grace I give her is because I was once married, and I've been married several times. But my first marriage, my ex-husband cheated on me. But when he cheated on me, my children were young. I threw him out, and then that was it. So that part I can understand, but the way that he did her, no. So let's go to the timeline. First of all, before that, I'm going to have a trigger warning for this because some people may be triggered by the content. The following content discusses multiple forms of trauma, including sexual assault. The following content also discusses multiple forms of trauma, including mentions of emotional, mental, and/or sexual abuse. This dialogue may be emotionally challenging and triggering because I was triggered. If you need help, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline. They're available 24 hours a day. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, which spells out HOPE. And you can always go to your local emergency room, your local police department, and I didn't put on the slide. Also, you can seek their mental providers in everyone's area. You can also dial info line at 211, and they can help you out there. So those are some things you could do. And you could always send me an inbox on Instagram, put me a message here, and I can get back to you if you need to talk or something like that. So y'all, the timeline. Okay. She met him at Tuskegee. Well, let me go back before I hit the timeline with them. She was the child of teen parents, and her father, I think her mother was 18, father was 19, and ooh, and her father wasn't really in her life like he needed to be in his child's life. Um, Her father ended up dying when she was 12. So she was 12 years old. Her father was like 31 years old. She talked about during the video how she would go and visit her father over at his house. The father had a wife, and she would go over and visit over there. And there were some feelings. The wife wasn't that nice to her and everything. But getting back to the timeline with her and Derek. She met him at Tuskegee. He charmed her, wooed her because she wasn't in the best, didn't have the best self-esteem and everything. And, he was this guy who was I think he was a jock. He was, you could see he had when I looked at pictures of him on the internet, he had the muscles and everything else. And like he played her. He played her, right? But during this time, she knew he had multiple partners because she saw the evidence in his phone. He taped the encounters he had with other women, and it was on his phone. She saw it. She stayed with him anyway. They went back and forth. They had several breaks over the next 7 or 8 years. Like I said, she stayed with him. She knew. She played little games. She had guys, trying to make him. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. Somebody's calling. I don't know why they call me. They know I'm alive. So she was playing games. But listen, sometimes we play games or we dig a hole and we fall in it. What she needed to do was she needed to leave him. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So she ended up having a baby. The baby didn't keep him. He was still doing whatever. They got engaged when the daughter was 2 months old. That was in 2017. In 2018, they got married. They had the daughter. She was 6 months pregnant with their son, I should say. Thanksgiving time 2019, they were having marriage problems, but they went through the holidays. Then by February, she left him because the infidelity got too much and his attitude and everything else. She went back home to Denver. March 2021, that's when Tasha K went on and aired him out with one of the phone calls from his mistresses. She was pregnant with their third child at the time, but she didn't say anything. That's when we know the famous video where she's sitting up there looking like she was doped up and he's doing the talking and whatnot. They had a second daughter born in late 2021. She withheld relations from him in July 2021. That was a notable thing that she talked about in the interview. Now, he filed for divorce 10/13/2022, citing irreconcilable differences. She made a counter claim or whatever for adultery. That was 10/25. Now, mind you, that was all under the covers. We didn't know about it. Then the newest girlfriend released that video back in December 2022, and that's when they came out with the divorce announcement. Then Mother's Day, he made a backhanded post where he misspelled her name, trying to be slick, and he knows the right way to spell her name. I won't say I was kind of triggered. I was kind of like, while I listened to her, I was wondering, like, I didn't really hear accountability. Like, sis, you stayed with him and you knew he was cheating. You knew he was with other women. She talked about at one point where he made a list, and there was a list of 100 women. And I don't know if that was from the time he started having sexual relations with women up until the time that they split up or whatever the case was. But she went along with it. So that's the part where I'm like, you like I'm a woman, you like you stayed with him through this. Like she talked about how she studied those videos that he had of their sexual encounters. She went on Instagram and she looked at like she researched all these women and I'm getting kind of triggered myself, y'all. She was looking at these women and she knew their body. She said she knew their bodies better than she knew her body. Like it's stuff like that where I'm like, what was this girl thinking? And I call her a girl because she's the same age as my younger children. And I'm like, where were her was her family? I just I don't understand. I'm gonna drop the link in a little while, so if anybody wants to come up, we can talk about this and everything. And because I want to hear what you guys have to say. But like it was that whole Pickmeisha thing. I did a video. If you guys check it out, I did a video a few weeks ago about being a Pickmeisha, and I'm a recovering Pickmeisha. So that stuff I understand wanting to be picked, wanting to be loved. You have this nice guy, this charismatic guy that wants to be with you. But I'm like, I just was not understanding like why she chose to stay with him through all that, through the women who like that she said she passed on the stairs, through the the women when she went on tour with him at one point, and the women would just be up in her like up in his face and everything else. And at one point, he told her, I have the quote here that she said, "The block is getting hot." Like what the said she needed to like stay home, you know, because he wanted to downplay their marriage, and he had written a book so people they knew he was married, but it's like what the heck is going on? So I'm like, I just don't get it. And there's one thing I left out. She was sexually assaulted right 3 weeks before she met him. She was sexually assaulted at a party. She stayed there with her accuser. She didn't tell anyone. She met him 3 weeks later, and she just she he you know what? She was a broken, wounded person, and I have here where someone who was her like her pastor, a bishop, told her she was a broken, conscious woman. He told her, I guess, just recently as they tried to go through and sort out her trauma, and they tried to help her. It's just this. It's just a lot. It's just the whole thing is just really just a lot. Y'all hearing me? Okay, let me know down in the chat. This stuff with her is just a lot. And then there was one point I'm gonna play this for you guys, where she spoke about her daughter, and one of her daughters is the same complexion that of the women, but she said the daughter was the same complexion as some of the women that he messed with. But I'm like, he messed with some of everybody. So one of her daughters is I guess chocolate brown as she called it, and one is lighter skin. So she was wondering about parenting the daughter, but I'm gonna play the audio for you so you guys can hear it because I was really shocked when she said it. So here's the audio. That's the Pickmeisha, y'all. To choose me, that's the Pickmeisha. Y'all, listen, that right there, like you struggle with mothering your daughter. Like, don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not trying to blame the victim. I'm not trying. She was a victim of what, but you know what? I can't even say she was not real. Listen, she was a volunteer. She wasn't even a live-in hostage. You didn't hear anything? Oh shoot. Okay. I thought y'all heard what I was playing. Okay. No, I'm gonna play it. I can play it from my phone. Um, this she really, for me, it's just a lot. Let me pull. Let me trying to pull it up. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait, I gotta just adjust. I gotta make some adjustments here. It's a live show, and I've just disconnected my speaker, so it's gonna keep. Let me go back. Let's see. Okay. All right. So give me if you can hear it, give me a thumbs up, okay?
Wants and he desires and he loves, like, you know, like, I don't understand. It's like they had her even though I carried her. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to work out.
Then you gotta let that sit. You can't go it. You said they had her even though you had her?
Can you guys hear it? Let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Okay.
They had her even though I carried her. That's what I felt like for a long time. I had to really sit down and
because her skin tone represents the type of women that he would cheat on you with.
Yes. Yes. And so it just played on the rejection and the abandonment and the not, like, choose me. What is there about me? Right? Our daughter even has everything that you like search for, or at least preference in a woman. Now, every woman wasn't dark skinned, clearly, but there's a preference in the type, and a lot of them were. And so even our daughter came out in that preference, and I'm like, you know, and that I feel like the Lord did that intentionally so that I could really deal with that. I could really deal with that aspect and be able to teach my daughters, because I have 2 girls now, but be able to teach them, and one's lighter and one's darker, right? So I had the experience of being in this weird world where I'm trying to be these other women and all these things, but I had to really sit back and deal with that. It affected I feel like my ability to mother her and to nurture her and to just have that mother-daughter relationship that I always desired, but I didn't know how to get there because all this stuff was in the way. And so I had started telling him about that and trying to be vulnerable, because when you decide to come back, you got to be vulnerable still, even though it's scary. And so I had started telling him that's
Wait, when he decides to come back.
You referenced that in his Mother's Day post. And so I'm like, I don't know how to, I really don't know how to respond to this. I don't know that it was for me.
I'm going to pull that Mother's Day post up too. But like me having daughters and what, I'm like, like mothering her, like that whole thing right there, like that just did not sit with me. Like, girl, you were a volunteer. You volunteered for this. You know, when we go and we volunteer to do something, like we make the decision that we're gonna keep volunteering or not. You know what I mean? Or we're gonna stop doing the volunteering. Like she stayed in it, and she stayed in it for what? 10 years, 12 years? She stayed in it while this man mistreated her. She didn't say that he beat her or anything, but he emotionally abused her, and she stayed in it. She allowed herself to be in it. When she could have left, when she went to her family's house in 2020, that was a chance to break free and everything. This is a woman who is educated. So I don't get it. I'm not getting it. And him sleeping with all these women, he could have brought home any disease or anything to her. Like I'm not getting it at all whatsoever. So y'all, I'm gonna show you the Mother's Day post. He put this shady Mother's Day post up there. But first, I'm hot about this. Let me tell you, I'm red hot about it because she didn't have to stay in that. And like some people may think, y'all may think it's cruel, it's mean, but like I've lived part of this. Like I know what it is for somebody to cheat on you. Like when my ex-husband cheated on me, when I tell you I had given up my full-time job and everything, I had nothing. When I tell you I had nothing, I put him out. He had to go. And that was in 1991. My youngest daughter was 7 months old. I divorced him, and that was it. I was done. And I had to start over. When I tell you I had nothing, I had to start over with everything. So here it is right here. This is the Mother's Day post. And he says, and he wrote, "Happy Mother's Day, Da'Naia," but he didn't put the apostrophe between the first A and the N. No matter what changes we've had in our lives, I've never seen changes in your dedication to our children. Thank you for showing up for them, even in times when you struggle to show up for yourself. Thank you for learning a whole new love language so you could better give and receive love with Marley. I guess Marley is the oldest daughter. Thank you for always being a nurturing, safe space for Derek Jr. and to express his emotions in a healthy way. Thank you for somehow keeping up with Alicia's sporadic sleep schedule and high energy. Mothers like you don't get enough credit, but on today, I hope you feel as appreciated as you are. Our children are blessed to have you in their lives, and I will always honor you for the endless sacrifices you made for them. Happy Mother's Day. Derek, you can go F yourself. You can go F yourself, Derek. Because that was some BS from him. And like I looked at his Instagram, and he still got all those followers. He's still like all those people eating up his stuff and everything. And I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Like they still going for his stuff. Yeah, man, you right, bro. Get the hell out of here with that mess. I'm gonna drop the link because I got the fan on me. I feel myself getting hot. I feel myself getting upset. And I'm hoping that she really gets some help besides, because I have a feeling that she's getting most of her help through the people in the church. And I know she said that she had therapists and everything, but I want her to get somebody that's really not related to the church at all. I really want her to get some help so she can really be present for her children, because the same way that she felt that about her daughter, she could start feeling that from her son, because her son has his name and because he's male like his father. and she just is not well. She's just someone who is not well. And to sit on that couch for 3 hours with this man and talk about it, I'm just like, no, you need some help. You really need some help different from there. I don't know if she's still living in the same area as him or if he went back. She went back to Denver. Um, she probably did. She probably had to stay there because with their divorce, he probably wants the kids near him so he could be able to see his children. But I just, because she chose to stay there after all, and that was abuse. Hey, girl, hey. Oh, let me unmute you. You got to unmute yourself. Oh, okay. You're still muted. Hey, girl, hey. This whole thing really got me. Hey, girl, hey. I don't know why you're still. She needs serious trauma therapy. Like I said, like everything that we go through always goes back to our child. Hey, girl, hey. It says your device is not connected. I'll drop you down, and I'll drop you down. This is kick from studio. Does that mean okay? You dropped yourself down. Okay. Um, this whole thing, like I don't get it. Okay, there you go.
Hey, Mokamima.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I feel sad for her. I have a lot of sympathy for her. Um, I felt like she was doing the best that she could with the cards that she was dealt. She came from a broken home, and I guess her growing up seeing how the situation was with her parents, I think she was doing the best that she could with, like I said, the skill set that she was given on how to be in a relationship with someone. Um, yeah, I really do feel bad for her, especially her expressing that she was an SA survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that had a lot to deal with. I'm sure that played a big part in how she um, moved in her relationship, like how she handled her relationship with Derek Jackson. So yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for her. I do. I wish that she would have had an awakening earlier in her marriage, but
Yeah.
like I said, I think she was doing the best that she could. And a lot of times in black households, with black women, we tend to settle for less a lot of times. Like you see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these women out here, we are the ones in the communities that are making the money. At this point, we're outpacing we're outpacing black men as far as degrees and how much we're making and everything. And we're still choosing to date and marry men who clearly are not on the same level as us. And I don't think what's her name?
Danae.
Danaia. I don't think she's any different. I think, she got caught up with a guy who she thought was gonna be her ever after, and yeah, I just think she got caught up. I really do. I think she got caught up. I remember when he asked her a question about has she been tested or have she been tested to see if like if she's suffering from anything, because she spoke about having postpartum depression with two of her children. And I remember when he asked her that, like outside of the postpartum depression, have you been diagnosed with anything else? And I just remember like her body, I'm really big on body language and stuff like that. And I remember her looking down and not being able to look at him right away when he asked that question. It was just like a really weird exchange between them when he asked that question, which makes me wonder or leads me to believe that maybe she has and she's just not comfortable talking about that yet because it's so fresh and new, or she hasn't been tested yet because maybe she's scared of what the outcome will actually be, and I know that's like taboo in our community to talk about.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it is a sad situation. I understand where you're coming from. I definitely do. It's hard, and you think, but the thing about it is, she's only 33.
Yeah. Yep.
She has a chance to really to get some help. Hopefully, she won't jump into another relationship because they're still married. They're not divorced yet. So hopefully, she will take this time to get herself together mentally, because
Right.
the outside she looked beautiful, and everything. So the outside looks good, and because now was what will happen is because she looks so good and everything, that men will start jumping in her DMs. Because they
Yeah.
look at her as because some men are damaged, so they'll start jumping in trying to get with her. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're sick.
I mean, she said that she's not, because I remember he asked her like, "Do you plan on dating anytime soon?" And she made it clear that she's not. That she just wants to like get to know herself, and because of the way that she jumped into the relationship with Derek after
Mhm.
just 3 months. I mean, after being sexually assaulted like 3 weeks prior, she said that she's not going to do that. That she's going to get to know herself, which I was very happy to hear.
But you know what? I hope that she really does, because sometimes we'll say, "Oh, I'm not getting into anything," and then the right person comes, once again, charismatic, seems like everything is good. You know what I mean? Especially with her, some man who might say he's God fearing or something.
Hmm.
Praying on her at the church.
Hmm.
Praying. I don't mean praying Pray. I mean
Yeah,
Prey.
EY.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the church and everything. And people might say, "Well, girl, especially once she gets divorced, girl, go for it. You deserve happiness," and her fall into the same trap once again.
No, you're right. Hopefully, she learned her lesson.
And note, while you're up here, I want to show y'all this. I found her. She has a website.
Hmm.
So let me pull her website. Her website. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's stuff on her website. Can you guys see it? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So wait. Okay. So let's see here. Listen, it's not hot girl summer. It's holy girl summer.
Okay. I
All
love
right.
that. I love that.
Holy girl summer. I was like, no, she didn't. But that's, listen. Turn your triumph into print into pain. Turn
Absolutely.
your pain into
It's a triumph.
triumph. I'm
Absolutely.
not mad at her at all. She got the little God's Way healing gift box, which is $180. This
I
holy
love that. I think she's
holy girl.
finding herself.
Mm-hmm. Hey, why not? But listen, she got her bonnet gang.
I'm about to give me one of those.
I saw that. I said, "Girl, go ahead." I said, "Go ahead, do it." I said, "Do it. Why not?" Listen, why not? You know. And
Yeah,
then look at this right here.
I
Her
love
Holy
that.
Girl Summer. Girl, go ahead. Do
She's
your thing.
finding she's finding herself. I love
Yeah,
that for her.
do your thing. I'm not mad at you for her. This is for the Holy Girl Summer shirt. I need to get that for my niece, because my niece is always talking about hot girl summer, hot girl summer. Ever since Megan came out with a song with my niece, it's hot girl summer. Girl, say something different. Holy girl summer. Holy girl summer. But yeah, and here's some other stuff.
Yeah, I love this.
She
I
got both
love this.
sides for the big girls.
Ah!
And y'all know, I'm a minister.
I can't. I
I'm,
can't.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I'm a minister, and I'm gonna be officiating a wedding
Oh
coming
wow.
up this summer. Yeah, I'm
That's
officiating someone's wedding. Me, a minister, and I curse sometimes and everything else. But listen, God's still working on me.
Okay.
God's still working on me. He ain't done. He's still working on me. But yes, y'all. People get the biggest kick out of that when I tell them I'm a minister. But it's true. It's just true. Oh, here it is. Oh, wait a minute. I'm at the. Oh,
Yeah, she seems like
see what's on the
she's
next.
in a better space mentally. Because I remember when I saw that. Well, I forgot what it was called when she did that live. What was it called?
I got. Listen, I can show it. You tell me which one she had. I got the one where she called the demons or something and talked about the helmet of salvation. Look at her right
Yeah,
here in these white pants, though. Go
yeah,
ahead, girl. Go
yeah.
ahead.
The helmet of salvation. I remember watching that live, thinking like, what is going on with this chick? Like you could tell she was in a really bad place, and a lot of times, like I don't know, something about Derek Jackson that just he carries a in my opinion, he carries like a demonic spirit or like a
Mhm.
demonic energy. And the fact that someone like what's her name again? I don't know how to pronounce Danae.
Danaia. Hmm.
Someone like Danae who's heavily into the word of God and heavily into the church, the fact that she was attached to someone like that is
Yeah.
scary because I remember she was talking about how she has like a baby cam set up in her child's room, and she was explaining how she was looking at the baby cam and she saw that her 1 year old was picked up off of her bed and laid on the floor. And I'm like, you people don't realize how much you welcome into your home once you start engaging in demonic activity. This man was bringing home all types of demonic energy, and especially I don't know if people believe in soul ties. On top of that, you're sleeping with a man who has so many soul
She said
ties.
it. She said about soul that she was soul tied to him. That's why she couldn't leave.
Mm.
She said something like that.
But she was sleeping with him. She was sleeping with someone who has so many. He has so many soul ties.
Mm.
That can't be healthy, not for your body, but for your spirit, like for your soul. That can't be healthy. So I can imagine all the. I think she said paranormal activity that was going on in her home. I believe her because not her, or I guess her unintentionally welcomed that kind of energy into her home. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy,
Let's
crazy,
see. Here's
crazy,
the.
crazy, crazy.
Here's the video.
This is a spiritual warfare. And if you are not prepared and you do not know what to do, you will drown and you will be a casualty in this war. I did not come here to play games and to play dress up. I came here in my battle suit. I came here on the battleground covered in the blood of Jesus. I received the anointing of the warrior and I spilled the blood of the enemy. You see a bonnet, I see the helmet of salvation. You see an army green shirt, I see the breastplate of righteousness. I see the belt of truth, the sandals of peace, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and the shield of faith. And I've come to the battleground covered in the blood of Jesus to proclaim victory over sin. And as God does for me, He is going to do for those of you who believe.
Mm, mm, mm.
Let those who have an ear, let them hear. You came for gossip, I came with the gospel. You came to blame, I came to slay with the power of the Holy Spirit. And I take authority as my master has given me, because behold, I have seen Satan fall like lightning. I have given you authority to trample over snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the powers of darkness. Nothing by any means shall harm you. And I come trampling over snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the powers of darkness that wants to suck up marriage and divide the house of God and divide the men and women of God from each other. Some of you don't understand this because you don't have kingdom thinking, you don't know kingdom principles, and you don't know how to act and walk in kingdom.
That I mean, I know. I can't. You get what?
Look, she was in a different headspace at the time. That's all.
And she was pregnant there.
Yeah, and she thought the right thing to do at that moment was fight for her marriage. I'm a firm believer in God. I'm a firm believer in when it's your time, it's your time. And I think there was maybe a lesson or something that she had to learn before God was able to release her from someone like Derek Jackson. And I think that once she learned whatever lesson that God wanted her to learn, she was able to let go because of God. And I know that she's spoken about, how she's had she she's in therapy and stuff like that, but there are certain things like a spiritual warfare a therapist cannot help you with. When you are being
Yeah.
attacked, spiritually, ain't no therapist nowhere can help you with that. You're gonna have to talk to God and ask for guidance and ask for help with something like that. And I think that once she was able to, like I said, learn whatever lesson that it is that God wanted her to learn, she was able to let go of that situation. And I know she spoke about that, how she texted him something like "I forgive you" or whatever, something like that. And the message that she got in return was, "I want a divorce. I don't want to do this anymore." And maybe the lesson that she had to learn in that moment was forgiveness. And I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe God was waiting for her to get to that moment where she was truly was able to forgive this man, not for him, but but for herself. They always say like forgiveness is for yourself, not the other person, especially a lot of victims who've been sexually assaulted and stuff like that. They always say, it's good to forgive the person, not for them, but to release yourself. And I think once she learned that, like to release herself from all of that, that's when God, stepped in and was like, okay, now you can, now that you've learned the lesson, whatever lesson that it was that you needed to learn, now you can let this go. And I think the fact that Jackson sent that message back right away, I want a divorce. To me, I don't know. To me, I took it as, okay, now it's time for her to go. Now it's time for her to go. I think
Mm-hmm.
that she wouldn't been able to leave until she had forgiven him and was able to truly like move on. Like if you look at her now, she looks healthy. She's lost a lot of weight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she's living in her truth. She's not ashamed to come and speak out about certain things. If she had not forgiven that man, I don't think she would be there. I don't think she would be there. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy that, and I see that Derek Jackson, like he turned off his comments. You can't comment on any of his posts. I was like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
he feeling the heat.
He know he know he foul. Here's another video that she did early on too. That the Shade Room had posted about what when people were talking about her marriage.
And speaking against the names Da'Naia Jaxn and Derek Jaxn in mockery, accusations, slanders, and lies. May the mercies of God be withdrawn from you. May your husbands and wives become widows. Let your children become fatherless. Let your seed become vagabonds on the earth. Let the words of your mouth and your words of your hands be returned back to you. Let it go down your throat and choke you slowly until your days become few on the earth. The word of God says, touch
Woo
not
child.
my anointed and do my prophets no harm. You've been warned. And if you want to know where that is at in the Bible, go to Psalm 109, go to Psalm 35, go to Psalm 140, go to Psalm 141, and keep our names out of your mouth.
Look, she said what she said.
Have a blessed day.
Did she ain't hit with the have a blessed day at the end.
She said what she said. She said what she said. And that's that.
Hit with the have a blessed, but she said the vagabond. But she listen. She gave a holy read.
Okay.
His name, a holy read.
She said, y'all gonna leave me the hell alone.
Let me tell you, this was the first time I saw that was yesterday when I pulled it up. I had never seen it. People have been talking about it, but I've never seen it because I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of him in this whole situation, and I didn't even see it. When I saw that, let me tell you, I was about to be on the floor over here. I was laughing so hard. I said, "You got me killing me." I said, "No." So on TikTok they ran with that whole thing. It was crazy.
Mm.
It was crazy.
And you know what really upset me though with that whole situation is how everybody was dragging her during that time. I mean, they were making so many jokes. Oh, I see why he cheating on her. Look how she dressed. I see why he cheating on her. Look how she acts. She crazy. She just not knowing that this woman is pregnant
Mm-hmm.
in that moment. That
Yeah.
she's pregnant.
Because
Not knowing everything that she had been through prior to being in a relationship with him.
yes.
Not knowing everything, that this man is putting her through, and what the word of the year, a narcissist he
Mm-hmm.
is. Like,
Yeah.
I hated that they were doing that to her. It was almost like they were holding her accountable for his actions. It was crazy.
Now
It was
let me
crazy.
ask you something, because I consider you and I consider Aunt Ann. Let me drop the link again if anybody wants to come up. I consider you and Aunt Ann love and marriage Huntsville experts. So I want to know.
Not experts.
I
I
y'all
can't.
are, listen. Y'all listen.
Yeah.
Y'all are no love and marriage Huntsville chapter and verse. Y'all know it. Like when I was first doing my YouTube channel, even though I know the show, I listen. I tell people to go to you or Aunt Ann, because I'm like, you all know the ins and outs, what they was doing. May 26, 2019. Y'all know the video and everything. I don't. I'm like, I don't know. I gotta go try to watch the episode, try to figure out through the timeline. It's too much to give me a migraine. Ian is laughing because I'm telling the truth. Now, I want you to look at Derek Jackson, compare him. I don't know if you guys probably know about Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville, who was a narcissist,
Of
who
course.
is just a biatch ass ninja. And what he's done to his ex-wife Melody, how he treated her, like that whole thing. So, hey girl, hey, you give me your analysis of these two men,
Of which two men?
of Martell and Derek Jackson. Give me
Oh, I think they're the same person. I think they're the same. I think they're like the same person, because I remember when she was talking about how um while he was cheating on her, but he was going on his platform. Derek Jackson was going on his platform, and he was giving all this advice to women about leave a man who treats you this way. If a man don't do this for you, if a man don't, and the whole time he was preaching this to women, he was cheating on her. And I remember she talked about when she questioned him, like, because this is like right before he was starting to like really blow up and become really popular, and being asked to talk on panels and going on TV shows. Like, he was getting there, and he got upset with her because she asked him, like, do you believe in what you're saying? And her knowing that he's cheating on her. Martell, like, he's no different. It's again, like, he tried to blame her, or try to hold her accountable for his actions. The fact that he got upset with her for asking a logical question, I'm asking you, do you believe in the things that you're saying, knowing that you're cheating on me day and night? And the fact that Martell is similar, because he got so upset with Melody because she left him. It's like, how are you upset at me because I left you, and knowing everything that you were doing? You got this woman pregnant multiple times. She's about to have your baby, but you're upset and you're blaming me for something that you did. Like, they're this two are the same. Like, they're the same person. To me, they're the same exact person. They take no accountability. They're, like I said, the word of the year, they are narcissists. And to me, in a way, that's like a form of abuse, like mental abuse. Like, when you know that you've done wrong. Yeah, I am the same person. I'm telling, yeah, but Jackson, I can't. Um,
I know.
She is hilarious. When you know you've done wrong, but somehow you flip it and reverse it onto me, as if this is my fault. Like Martell used to say, "Oh, she wasn't giving me fellatio, or she wasn't doing this, or she wasn't doing that." And it's like, I'm sorry that I have to be the head of the household because your be behind can't. So I'm sorry that I can't do everything for you because you're too stupid to run a business. So now I'm running the business, and then on top of that, you want me to cater to you. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Unfortunately, you can't. And because Martell was the way he was, Melody had to pull the weight. Same thing in this relationship because Derek Jackson was the way that he was. I felt like she was pulling away as far as the children. I remember her talking about saying that she was the main caretaker for the kids, on top of running the business behind the scenes, on top of making sure she tries to cater to her man, on top of I remember when she said she knew their bodies better than she knew her own. So she's studying all these women, trying to hell at this point shapeshift, okay, into the the woman that she thinks that he wants. And like I said, on top of being the main caretaker, on top of running the business behind the scenes, yeah, it's that situation all around is just sad. That situation just all around is just sad. And I'm happy that she's finding herself. I'm so happy that she's finding herself because I didn't follow the story that closely when it was like all over social media. Honestly, I really didn't follow it like that. Not until I saw this interview that she did with this guy, and I was like, wow, I did not know all that. Like, she was really in a dark place. She was in a dark place. Yeah. She was in a dark place.
Sad. It is sad. And hopefully,
And what is this guy's name?
Lateris Whitfield.
Lateris Whitfield. He's suspect to me too. He's suspect to me too. Because it seems like
he also was a cheater.
It seems like he was a Derek Jackson himself. And I remember he was talking to her about how he used to cheat. I remember he was talking to her. This what got me. He was talking to her about how he used to cheat on his wife with multiple women, multiple times, and how I forgot exactly what he said. Something about how he went to therapy and got therapy and realized that what he was doing was wrong and got the help that he needed, and then he got a divorce from his now ex-wife. And I'm sorry, I know that some people may not agree, but to me, men like that are him, this Latrice guy, and Derek Jackson. To me, those men are kind of cowards because you put me through hell and I stick beside you through better or worse, through sickness and in health. I stick beside you. And then once you feel like you've got all the healing, that's the problem in our community. The men do not protect us emotionally. They don't protect us physically. We just have no protection from our men. And so the fact that you did not care whether I was healed or not, you just knew that you were healed and you got the counseling and the help that you needed after you cheated on me all these times. It could have brought me back home, anything. Once you got the help that you needed, you wanted to file for divorce. So I look at him sideways as well. And even when he was talking about his situation, the way that he brushed over his situation, it kind of took me off guard. I was like, so you're asking this woman to talk about her sexual assault. You're asking her to talk about all this stuff about her soon-to-be ex-husband, and then you brush over what happened to you in your relationship. And the main thing that it seemed like he wanted to make clear is that him and his ex-wife co-parent very well. I said, something ain't right about that. Something ain't right about that. It gave me selfish and it gave me narcissist from him too. Because like I said, once you got your healing, okay, you didn't care if I was there yet. You didn't care. You just wanted a divorce. And I don't respect men like that. That's a cowardly move. That's a cowardly move. What happened through sickness and health for better or for better or for worse. That was a cowardly move on his part. So I look at this Latrice guy sideways too. And I see that his channel is very popular. I see that a lot of people on his page. But I better read between the lines with these dudes. I better read between the lines.
But you know, a lot of these men that have these certain views like that, they get a lot of subscribers, and majority of their subscribers are women.
Yep.
That go and listen to this stuff, and you know, and don't see. They don't listen to it with. Like I'll listen to it, but I'm like, like I'm giving the side eye, or like on TikTok they say the bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side eye. Yeah.
I give them the side eye because I'm like, okay, because it's one of those things where you take what you need and you leave the rest.
Right.
And a lot of people, they don't do that. They swear by these guys and everything, and I'm like, because like Derek Jackson, I used to follow him on Facebook. And I would listen to what he said. However, I'm older. He's old enough to be my son. So I listened to what he said, and I kind of I was like, okay, you know, but I wasn't like some of the people buying his books and all that.
Right.
I didn't do all that at all. I just took what he said, like I take the relationship advice from a lot of people that were on there. Like, for instance, what's his name? Paul Carrick Brunson, who's a relationship expert. He was on Facebook and everything. He now lives in England, and he does Married at First Sight in England. He was doing theirs in the UK.
Or what about Tariq Nasheed? I think
I don't follow that bozo.
He was on the. I remember when he did Hidden Colors. You up here preaching about Black people and how we were this and that and where we came from. And you married or you with a whole white woman. Men like that, I can't take serious.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't. I'm sorry.
Because your words and your actions
got add up.
Right. They got to at least add up a little bit, you know. And with some like them ones, like no. So that's why I said I take what I need and I leave the rest.
And I feel like we're too easily fooled sometimes. Like we're too easily fooled sometimes.
Because a lot of times we just got to get the message and forget the messenger.
Right.
You gotta take the message and use that message and forget that messenger. Because sometimes the messenger is a dirty, low down scallywag. So but this right here, I'm hoping for her healing. I'm hoping that she can really, you know, delve deep into it, and that when she gets to be my age, she can look back and say that was a learning experience. I came out for it for the better. And, you know, her not even worry about who he is and his things at the time, just focus on herself. Hey, MLW, focus on herself and her children, because her children are going to need her, because this whole thing, like the Holtz, played out on social media, and this was just even worse than the whole situation.
Yeah,
this was just totally crazy. With him having millions of followers, you know, people just the women just disrespecting her right in her face, you know. So, and the internet's forever. Internet's forever.
The internet is forever.
So that's why I was able to go and pull all that stuff up, because it's all, you know, with a Google search, and it's all right there. So I really just hope for her.
That was a good interview, though. It was a really good interview. My goodness. Woo. That was a good interview.
I'm glad that she was able to get her stuff out. Because really, she could have went somewhere. She probably could have interviewed with, I don't know if Oprah would interview. Oprah might interview someone like her.
Yeah.
Oprah would interview her. She might still get an interview with Oprah, because this right here going viral, Oprah might want to sit down and talk to her. You know how Oprah invites the people out to her house, and you're sitting out there in her nice yard?
I wonder, you know what I want? What I wonder is what is going to be his next move?
Oh, Derek's next move? I know.
Yes. I'm so curious. What because he's turned, like I said, he's turned off all of his comments. You can't leave a comment. I wonder what his next move is going to be. That's going to be interesting.
And him being and him being the narcissist that he is, he can't have all this on her, and she's up there looking good and everything else. He can't deal with that. He can't stand all the shine being like everyone on her right now.
All right.
Take that. So he is having a fit, stewing in his own mess and everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can't deal with that. He can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they are. So, but we'll see. I'll keep watching it. I'll keep watching for it. Well, hey, girl, hey, thank you so much for coming up.
No, thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So you could drop yourself down, or
Okay.
drop down.
Let me.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, you know what? Thank you so much for coming. We are going to keep her in prayer and other women that we know and don't know that are in similar situations, that they get through it, that they get their healing, that they come over to the other side. I know for me, going through relationships and going through stuff, it took me a while to learn that I had to put me first. Like I said, check out my video about me being a recovering Pickmeisha. Please check that out. Please like and subscribe. Let's see. I have a live coming up Tuesday. Is my Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Then next Thursday will be the Thirsty Thursday Hot Topics, where we'll talk about hot topics. You guys can come up. I will be doing a live on Sunday with actually Aubrey. We cover Married at First Sight. So I will have the simulcast here on my channel. So you can always come into my chat and have your comments and everything if that's the show that you watch. And I'm going to play my little clip that I always play when I'm on.
Say it with me, kids. If protecting my peace makes me the villain, then bitch, my name is Thanos. Say it with me, kids. If protecting my peace makes me the villain, then bitch, my name is Thanos.
Once again, y'all, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate each and every one of you. And you have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you in the next video.
Work, work, work. See me, I get work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the cafe, try me, I deserve. Nothing to be lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody touched me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma leave a decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for fun.